Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So if you watch my channel, you know I'm a bit of a futurist. Between tech and EV, I love talking about what's going to happen in the future, what's the best technology that's available today, and one thing that I've figured might make for a good vlog, not necessarily a great tech or EV video because it's not about EVs, but I am fascinated by deepfakes and machine learning and artificial intelligence and how we're basically able to teach computers how to make people look a certain way, and it's being used in commercials, it's being used in music videos, and of course it's being used on YouTube all the time to either get people that are really famous celebrities on channels that would normally never have time for that kind of thing, or oftentimes used as a parody just to get a politician or someone famous to do something silly or stupid. And, you know, I like watching those Collider videos where they get George Lucas to react and make funny comments about the Mandalorian trailers and that kind of thing. And that type of stuff is fascinating to me because, you know, we have a lot of time left if 2020 ends up not being the end of the world, which it probably will. But if it doesn't, the fact is, this is just the beginning and it's already looking really, really convincing, right? It's a little rough around the edges and there's certain videos where you can kind of tell the deep fakes are a little bit off, but there's even YouTube channels now that will analyze like hours and hours and hours of a person's voice, and then they can digitally, using machine learning, recreate that person's voice and make them say essentially whatever they want them to. It's a little rough right now. I mean, it's pretty monotone and kind of slow, so there's not much range to their voice, but I'm just thinking about how often I'm posting tech videos and EV videos, and I'm doing all these podcasts and live streams all the time, and I'm realizing that in my early ages of my content career, I am creating an entirely huge and intricate and detailed backlog of content that could one day end up training an AI or machine learning into how to make Drew eternal in a way. Not in me as a person, but my personality on the internet. And oftentimes, as we've talked about on this very channel, I think about the end. I think about, you know, how long am I really going to be doing YouTube and Twitch and podcasts, and how long will I be working, and will I ever get to a point where I just don't want to work anymore, or maybe I get too old, or maybe I get to the point where my brain's not working well enough, so I need to get Neuralink implants or something crazy like that. But still, how far in life am I going to go before I just can't do this anymore, right? It's like only a matter of time till I can't create content, because eventually I'm gonna die, and there's no way around that. It's a simple fact, and whether it's in 2 years, whether it's in 2 minutes, whether it's in 80 years from now, we don't know. But at some point it's going to happen. And the question I've had in the back of my head is, how good will machine learning and artificial intelligence be with deepfake technology when I'm ready to retire and when I'm ready to step away from YouTube, or when I'm ready to die and pass on to the great unknown? I think about this a surprising amount of the time, to the point that I wanted to make a vlog about it, because I just thought that if there's any people out there who are interested in artificial intelligence or deepfakes, if you wanted to make something for me just for fun, it might be interesting to look into, because I know very little about it and I don't have the expertise to develop it myself. But I'm seeing lots of people with other YouTube channels work on it, and I'm not trying to put all of you to work. I'm just throwing this idea out there. This is more of a conceptual video than anything, but one thing that's on my mind a lot is, what if in the future, right? Because we've really only had the advancements of modern technology and personal computers for just a few decades, right? It's only been 3 or 4 decades maximum that average everyday people can have home computers, and CPUs and GPUs have rapidly gotten better over the years and allowed for deep faking technology to become a reality. Imagine what it's gonna be like in another 30, 40, 50 years, how ironed out the software gets to the point that it's almost indiscernible from reality. And I think it's really, really good that companies like Microsoft are actually working on ways and trying to figure out how they can develop an algorithm that can automatically detect when something is not real, because you can imagine, especially in like the political space, it could get really, really dangerous if you can start making anybody on the internet start saying or doing anything just with a few lines of code. You can make their face be on someone else's body, or you can make them say things they didn't say. So I'm glad that there's companies out there at least investigating ways of detecting when it's fake or not, because we all know that I think in a certain amount of time it's going to become impossible for us as humans to detect it ourselves, and eventually we're going to be watching videos of people that we can't even realize are real or not, not. So if that becomes a reality over the next few decades, what if there is a business in the future, an artificial intelligence deepfake business that will essentially take your YouTube channel access, and maybe if someone wants to retire, or maybe they die and they're ready to move on and they don't want to make videos anymore, or they physically can't make videos anymore, you instead have this AI take over the channel and they analyze all of the backlog, right? Because we've made hundreds and hundreds of podcasts and I've made probably thousands of videos, and by the time I'm ready to either retire or die, there's gonna be thousands, probably tens of thousands of videos to pull from. And I'm uploading a lot of these videos at 4K 60 frames a second. That is an insane amount of data for a machine learning program to analyze my voice, analyze my face, and with 50 to 60 or 80 years of ironing out this software, I think it's not only possible, but in fact likely that in the future, if I'm still doing YouTube and YouTube doesn't completely fall apart and the world doesn't end and all that, if I'm still doing content production, a program will be able to take over the channel and basically start making videos for me. And it's able to analyze my personality, analyze my thoughts and opinions on videos in the past, and try to recreate those itself. And it won't really be me, right? It won't actually be me coming up with these videos. It won't actually be me editing them or even filming them, but it's totally theoretically possible that in the future, when the software gets that good, I think that it could become a business that actually picks up channels when they're ready to retire, or of course the host dies. And of course, if the host consents, I don't know if it would be legal to do to a channel that does not consent to it. But if like before you die, you put it in your will or something, or you sign up for it before you die, like, hey, I would like an AI to take over my channel, and the channel can keep uploading videos. And basically, similar to today, like AirPods Max dropped, instead of me having to wake up, check my phone, go, oh my God, I'm gonna be late. I better start work early today. I gotta go to the office. I gotta film a video, share my thoughts and opinions, say all the tech specs about the product, and then edit it in a video, export it and upload it. Instead, when there's some new announcement, when the iPhone 38,000 comes out, or whatever they're called, or the Neuralink 7XS comes out, and we want to do a tech video on it, the AI immediately sees the announcement, immediately sees the news, and instantaneously is able to create a recap video of me talking about that product with my voice and my face, even with my old same background, whatever background in the past we want. It's digital. We can pull it out from anything. You want Drew to go back to the attic days? With an AI, we could probably make that happen. So however you want to do it, the computer comes up with the video, comes up with everything I say. It looks like me, it sounds like me, and I even throw in some of my personal opinions, but all of it is completely machine learning and deepfake generated. And then I could truly have videos upload simultaneously with tech announcements, and I would be the first to upload. But with AI being a common thing, it would probably be across a bunch of channels all at the same time. So the real YouTubers would have a hard time catching up with the fake deepfake YouTubers. But it's just interesting to think about if you consider how much time we probably have in the rest of our lives, especially someone like me who's 22 years old. And if YouTube doesn't crash and burn and it sticks around for the long term, I would like to continue creating content for many, many years, probably into my elderly years if I can. And in that case, I could see that happening. Like the revenue the channel would generate after I die could go into a trust and maybe be accessed by my kids or my grandkids someday. And the channel would basically still be active and it would be generating revenue. And of course, the business that takes over it and the AI that's developing the content would probably get a pretty sizable fee. So it would get 10 to 20% of the revenue it generates. But the audience would keep watching. Probably some people out there wouldn't even know I died. Maybe there'll be some laws that pass about that say, hey, if you're doing a deep fake YouTuber or a machine learning AI is taking over your channel, you have to disclose it at the beginning of every video. So we'll just start the beginning of the channel with, hey everyone, I'm dead. I don't exist anymore, but this is a computer developing a version of me that looks real, and I'm going to be talking about Neuralink 7XS today. Knowing how good deepfakes and AI are right now, and knowing how much better it's going to get just in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I think that a lot lot of the things I'm talking about in today's vlog are inevitable and could almost certainly happen by the time I'm on my deathbed or by the time I'm ready to retire. And I just love thinking about that type of thing because of how creepy it is. I'm probably creeping out some of you right now, but I like talking about the future, and I like thinking that perhaps Tailosive, as it currently stands, is helping creating that content that can be analyzed and learned by AI in the future. It'll go back, it'll listen to every recording of my voice, every video of my face, and because these videos are fairly high quality with high frame rate and resolution, it'll have a pretty accurate view of how to bring me back from the dead, and that way you, your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids can keep watching Tailosive even after I'm gone. Isn't that crazy to think about? Honestly, I think it might be possible that in the future, when we're all dead, when everyone's gone, maybe artificial intelligence and deepfake versions of Tailosive are still going around and pinging across the internet, even into the years of 2400, 2500. No, I'm not on drugs, in case you're curious, but this is what my brain does sometimes. This is what I think about, and honestly, I think it could happen. What do you guys think? Am I crazy or overestimating the power of deepfakes and AI, or do you think something like this could happen? Feel free to let me know, because I think this stuff's really interesting. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.